The story begins with a strange rumor that there exists an individual in this world whom even the most formidable criminal organizations fear. His name is Peter. In a surprising twist, Peter is revealed to be an elderly man in his 60s. The scene shifts to a dark alleyway where numerous lifeless bodies lie, and a lone survivor is aware of his impending death. The man, in a desperate state on the ground, bleeding, looks up at Peter and exclaims, "It's you, isn't it, Peter?" Peter stands before him wearing a peculiar mask and holding a gun. The man continues, expressing his disbelief, wondering how Peter, the legendary figure, has managed to evade capture and remain alive despite the countless eyes tracking him. He questions why no one has been able to locate him. As Peter approaches, he asks the man if he truly wants to know the secret. With a dramatic flair, Peter removes his mask. The man is rendered speechless, unable to comprehend the seemingly impossible revelation. Scene shift 3 months before. We are shown a bookstore where we hear a doctor warning an old man that he will die in 3 months. As we see old Peter with man medicine. As we get to know Peter is not afraid of death. He has been handling life and death situation for his entirety of life, thinks that they have given 50 years of his life to his organization. He don't regret it. Thought, but now that he think about it, he had never taken a picture of himself. Scene shift as we see a young schoolgirl entering the store. She asked to buy middle school textbook sudden one. As the woman asked, "Do you happen to have used a textbook to that?" Peter replied, "We have textbook from 1960s to 2020 and by country too," and asked which one would she like. The young woman replied, saying it's for my young sibling. As they were talking, he asked, "Are you student from that high school, right?" As she say yes. He also says by color of your name tag, "You are a senior." As she say that says, "Correct." How do he know? As he says, "He know everything. Abbott, everyone in this neighborhood." He takes out a brand new set of book. The woman exclaimed that she only have 1001 and she cannot play for all these. As she was saying, he just tore the plastic cover and said now they are used as he says. H can see how much she adore her young sibling, as she calls him Mr., and asks, "Have you regret something before?" As Peter says, "The longer you live, the more regret you have." In this scene, we see a glimpse of Peter's past, as he also says, "Take care of your younger sibling and don't do something that you will regret later," and just turn back. As we can see, she was ready to stab Peter as he says he won't kill her. She is in shock thinking, how did he know? As Peter explained that he had memorized faces of every student, also that school, but just in case he asked, "You are senior." But in fact, the school was just built only 2 years ago, as he tells her that he spent his whole life smelling scent of blood, that she cannot hit a scent of knife with cheap perfume. As she thinks that she was played from start, she thinks things have already come this far. She have no choice, but just in next scene, she is just paralysis. She thinks, what the heck? She feels like she will be one to die as Peter stare hell out of young girl that she backs off as she was leaving. He told her to take the books, as he know she was not lying about here. Sibling as Peter find out she is from Glory Orphanage and is new to this. As Peter tell Sheer if someone fails, plan B comes in play. As he approached the woman and push her back. As she was thinking what is plan B, suddenly 2 men show up from about and started shooting at Peter and woman. As Peter complete his scent ace by if mission fails, the volunteer is to be neutralized. As we see in process, Peter has got a gun shot in stomach. As we see those 2 men fire their gun as Peter tries to run and grape his gun pointing on them. Those 2 men take the young girl as a hostage and one of the man punch the Peter at the face. As Peter think why his body won't move by his will, as the man that punch Peter ask, is someone like him really? Peter as lender eye, Peter himself is nothing when it comes stop disease. As the boss of those 2 man comes forward, as we see his code name 8-leg man, or we will call him Octopus. Then Peter bleeding on floor ask why are they trying to kill him, as the Octopus answer that boss doesn't like him. As he explained there are thousands and of killer after his head because of bounty on his head is 7.6 bill on one as Lessing. This Peter says that's funny because that the same amount that his saving bank account has. As Octopus declares, the money you saved up is now against your life, and soon it'll be in someone else's hands. He laughs as he urges Peter to meet his end at his hands. His henchmen start beating Peter relentlessly and throw him into a corner, assuming he's knocked out. As they approach him, Peter casually throws a flashbang, making his escape. They think he couldn't have gone far and begin searching for him. The scene shifts to a playground where we see Peter huffing and tired, thinking he couldn't even fight back, feeling old. Flashbacks reveal Peter's past life in an organization. While other children held pencils, he bled 365 days a year to learn how to wield a knife. While others learned to use social networks, he mastered eavesdropping and wiretapping until his ears bled. As others dated, he became a Russian spy in frostbitten conditions 24/7. While others started normal lives, he fought in the midst of terrorist groups. He dedicated his entire life to the organization. Everything changed when a new boss took over, deeming Peter old and discarding him. Peter thinks he can't die like this. He can't let them take his money. As he contemplates, he passes out. The scene shifts to the hideout of the eight-legged man. The two previous henchmen discuss that if they had killed Peter, they would have earned 7.6 billion won. As they gaze at a picture of Peter, someone's voice interrupts, claiming it's the first picture with him in it. They dismiss the idea, assuming the young man is Peter. The young man wakes up and claims he's there because he knows everything. He urges them to stop wasting time and take him to Octopus. The henchmen think he comes from the same trade. They tell him he must die. When a man tries to punch the young man, he effortlessly blocks it. The henchmen are surprised, and the young man recalls a flashback of a man punching Peter, followed by him crushing the man's hand. As another person tries to attack him from behind with a knife, the young man obliterates him. He picks up the knife, and the henchmen ask who sent him. The young man explains that those who master handling cutlery are third class, those who master all weapons are second class, and the first class can use anything as a weapon. He then grabs a real octopus leg and prepares to use it. The henchman charges towards him, but the young man easily disarms him, using the octopus leg to subdue him. As the henchman asks who he is, the young man holds up the picture of P. As the henchman asks who he is, the young man holds up the picture of Peter, stating, "This is the only picture you have." We are told that the once best in the field Peter has become young again. The first chapter concludes with the revelation that the old Peter they are looking for is dead. Finally, Peter's young face is shown, and he declares, the old Peter they're looking for is dead. The first chapter ends with a call to subscribe and enable notifications for Part 2, along with a reminder to comment John Wick for Part 2. See you next time.